Welcome back, everyone. This is Brian, aka Dusk, coming at you with another Pocket Dynamax video. If you didn't see my previous video, um, you should know that the Pocket Isekai has renamed itself to Pocket Dynamax. I do not know what the current. I know it just got removed from Google Play yet again, so I'm not sure what the current name is going to be when it comes back. Um, I will see if I can't link the game APK again in the description, um, just so that everybody can potentially have that as well. This video, though, will be a Pokemon Showcase video. So I'm going to hop on over to that. Last time, I believe we had done Mega Garchomp. I do believe that I think I want to go over one that has become very prominent since a couple timed islands ago. We had our first real-time or second real-time arena. Maybe the first. No, it's the second with Magearna. I believe I did mention this in a video where Magearna was actually a secret that me and Big Jim Jean were trying to kind of learn and progress through, and actually build up to learn how it actually was. And a lot of players ended up figuring out that Magearna was really good. A lot, and unfortunately, it was a lot of good players figured out that Magearna was really good. And based on that, I kind of was able to figure out what players were playing as some of the better options for it. So today we're actually going to go over that. Let's see if I can. Yes. So we can actually hide that. So what we're looking at here is this bottom one here for Magearna. Magearna has a few roles. It is a support, aka defense build. It focuses on stunning, it has recovery, and continuous battle. And when we go over its skills and everything, I'll explain why it's considered a recovery, continuous battle, and everything. As for its natures, we're going to look for that tanky build. Mega Brave, of course, is always your go-to, with as well as hasty, careful, and lax, in my opinion. This is going to give you increased defense, a shield based on maximum HP, and as your HP lowers, you're going to be getting a boost with lax for the rest of your team. You could also look for gloomy or quiet. Now, what you really want to do is try to have level 3 or higher of these natures, because you do get that secondary tier. But Magearna is definitely one of those, probably I should say, pay-to-win builds. In order to get her effectively, you will need to get the advanced island ticket when she shows up, so that you can have that better chance at Mega Brave 3 or higher, as well as the higher natures. You can get her in the intermediate tickets, but it's just much more difficult. And I think she's guaranteed to show up at least in it, but it's only going to be like one. As unlike in the advanced ones, you will always at least have two of her, with the chance of getting a third one with that Mega Brave nature. Unfortunately, those tickets are $30. So it can be quite expensive to try to fully build her. As for the TMs that you're looking for, really, I don't even know if Wonder is really the best thing for her. I haven't really gotten to test that. But I do know that Shadow Kill and Guardian have been the go-to. Shadow Kill gets that increased stun chance with her normal attack. And then Guardian, of course, if she gets knocked down, she'll come back 2 rounds later with, I believe it's 2 energy. As for her held items, you could really use any um, 4-piece set and 2-piece set. However, I do recommend, currently what I'm using anyway is Dragon Fang. This will allow her to, if she does get a huge single attack on her, she'll recover a lot of that HP back. And also, if you had the 4-piece red, then at the end of the round, you'll gain a shield of 30% of that lost HP. If you do have the specialty 2-pieces sets, this is definitely one that you would want to have Adamant Orb on, so that she has that toughness and true damage resistance. As for the substat focus, you really want to get that damage rebound, toughness, and then control probability for her normal attack. And the healing rate and dodge are also really useful for her. She's not really a high damage build. She is very much designed to be tanky and to really just control your opponents. I do believe she is better than Mega Diancie, because she doesn't have the effect of, if she's hit twice, she won't get to automatically stun something. If you put Shadow Kill on her, or the fact that she just makes your team attack more often, letting her get her normal attack off multiple times in a round anyway, it makes her stun chance just drastically higher already. So adding that extra control probability will be very useful. I would also recommend control resistance. I think I meant to actually put that on there. Because the last thing you want is a Diancie or another Magearna stunning her down so that she can't actually do her job. As for the red substats, you're going to be looking for that PvP damage reduction. You do not want her dying. You want to get dodge rate, because if she can dodge big attacks, it's even better. Initial energy, as well as treated rate, HP recovery. Obviously, as I've mentioned many times, you don't really have control over these. But if you, as you're building your held items and everything, look for ones with these kind of substats and try to focus those on her. So now we'll jump over to her actual stats. So we're going to actually come into her ability here, where she should be in support. So we're looking here. You'll notice she is declared as a support recovery. We're going to look at her natures here. As I mentioned before, what my recommended ones are: careful, hasty, and lax. Unfortunately, I did not personally get lax. I got relaxed. But that is kind of okay. Although I would definitely prefer lax on her. As for her flash nature, basically what it says is, for each action taken by an ally, Self's defense and special defense is increased by percentage based on the level of Mega Brave, and this stacks up to 10 times and lasts until the end of battle. And then for each action taken by an ally, Magearna recovers 2% of its lost HP, is her level 3 ability, and then level 5, Counter Surge effect is boosted by 50%. We'll go over Counter Surge in a second. But the biggest thing about Magearna is that she does encourage your allies to attack multiple times in a round. So when you actually look at her fighting in a team, you'll actually think that your team has taken 2, sometimes even 3 rounds in just one. And I'll try to do a showcase of that in later in this video. As for careful, as I said, you're going to get a shield based on its own maximum HP. And I'm going to go over why this is so important when I go over her skills. Hasty is just to get that extra defense early on, because you don't want her dying as soon as she comes out. And I also believe that lax is really good, because it's going to provide damage reduction to your other units as she loses HP. And because of the fact that she can recover HP so well, I believe that Lax is really good. I did mention that Quiet could also be used as well. As for her attacks, and this is where things get very interesting, her OKO is known as Soul Transformation. She's going to initiate Soul Transfer, stealing the target's HP and trigger a counter surge. So she deals a decent amount of damage. But the key is that she steals 20% of the target's maximum HP. And when its current HP percentage is lower than the target's, the greater the difference between their HP percentages, the more HP the target loses, and she recovers up to a maximum of 50% of their maximum HP. Additionally, she's going to gain 20% of the target's attack and special attack for 2 rounds. And she's going to trigger the counter surge effect 1 time. And you'll notice it doesn't actually say what counter surge is. I'll have to show that to you when we go over the overheat. And then we also have a passive near death. The lower its HP, the less damage it takes, up to a maximum of 40%. At the start of the round, if its HP is below 40%, she gains a 30% true damage resistance for the current round. So this is a very tanky ability here. Her overheat is actually an iron defense. You think that this is kind of it's a really weird ability, I should say. Because she's going to restore her own HP. She'll recover a specific amount as well as restore 12% of her own maximum HP. So of course, when you're switching maximum HP with your opponents, it's like becomes really good, especially if you hit something with a high maximum HP like Snorlax or Groudon. She's got steel armor, so she reduces damage taken by 70%. Including true damage, but this is only in effect for 1 hit. But then we have counter surge, which her iron defense triggers as well as her OKO. This says after being attacked, all allies perform 1 normal attack, which can trigger up to 1 time per round, dealing 45% damage and adding an extra 25% of Magearna's combined attack and special attack for 2 rounds. So she's going to be stealing that attack and special attack with her OKO, and she's going to trigger counter surge. So when she gets hit, this is going to trigger, and all your allies, including herself, are going to perform a normal attack. Which, as you remember, in her Mega Brave, she's going to recover 2% of her lost HP, as well as increase her defense and special defense for every action the allies take as well. So both her OKO and her overheat are going to be triggering this, and with the flash nature, it's just going to keep stacking her defense. So when I show the video, I'm going to show you like just how much she ends up stacking up. As for her normal, we have Fluor Cannon. This is just going to do just a standard amount of damage, but there is a 35% chance to stun the target for 1 round and also reduce the target's energy by 1 point. So this is where it gets really interesting, because using Shadow Kill or with her own counter surge, she's going to be potentially stealing a lot, well, reducing a lot of target's energy as well as stunning the targets. Unfortunately, this is going to be all at the AI discretion rather than yourself. You're not going to be able to choose when counter surge activates. Only when you choose to attack with the normal attack will you get to choose the target. As for the talents, we have your standard array of your rank, your floor 1, floor 2, and whatnot, and floor 3. I do recommend the energy +1 so she can do her OKO on the turn she comes out. As for floor 4, most players are using the OKO Strengthen, which is going to steal 10% of the target's defense and special defense for 2 rounds, as well as the attack. So this just makes her even more tanky. The other options are your normal. After release the OKO, its damage ability increases. Not very great because she is a defender. As well as after using the OKO, it will gain a shield based on 12% of its maximum HP. This is a good backup compared to Talent 3, although I believe everybody is just using Talent 3. As for the, what is this, the fifth one, the fifth floor, defense is really good on her. Speed is really good for getting off that OKO early on. Because if she goes first, usually she's going to be a big target. So if she goes first, she's going to go ahead and get that counter surge activated when your opponents attack her. As for the final floor, you have your normal attack strengthen that increases the stun probability by 70%, which is going to give you 105% stun chance technically. Although, of course, control resistance is going to drop that percentage. But when you're attacking multiple times with that normal attack, you do have a lot more chances. Alternatively, you can have the overheat strengthen, which is going to also give you a shield equal to 70% of the combined attack and special attack for 2 rounds. If you really want to be tanky and you're not really worried about that stun control, you can do this to keep her alive longer. Extreme training, she is going to be all around, followed by defense, attack, and then HP, with the final advanced book being the last stage. For now, let's go ahead and jump over to a world boss to do a showcase of her abilities. Right now, I am using her with my Mega Suicune and Mega Marshadow. Mega Suicune I'm using as kind of it is a damage dealer, but it's also kind of a control because it does have the freeze ability. I am going to do this manual so we can showcase her. And I'm going to lower the speed down to 1. Well, actually, we can do 3 and then I'll lower it at the end. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually do Soul Transformation, then Storm Tornado, and then Shadow. I'm mainly concerned with just showing you all of her buffs and everything. You'll actually see a bunch of buffs showing up on the screen already. And you'll see that she was attacked once already. So she's actually, I should have done this at level 1, like I thought. She was already attacked once. So she's already just blasted through everybody by encouraging her own ability. We're going to lower this down to 1. You can notice here all of these defense increases stacking up. Right now, because she just got attacked, it is encouraging all of the abilities of their allies. So let's go ahead and look here. You'll see Mega Marshadow currently has crit rate increase, that's from itself, but damage reduction, defense increase, recovery increase, damage increase, attack and lifesteal, that's mainly from Suicune. But all of those buffs, and then as well for Magearna, just tons of defense and recovery and damage counteraction, all just from it's nuts. That's all I can really explain. See, very quick stun right there just because she's faster. Unfortunately, she did suffer from getting frozen, so that's a bummer. You'll notice there I had a lot of absorb though and evasion. That's that dodge chance that she has. She's not going to really get to do anything. It's going to speed this up here. The idea of this showcase is just to really show off the counter surge ability that she has. I'm going to go ahead and Dynamax. I am going to show off this Dynamax as well. Dynamax is really interesting. You do got to pay attention though, because Dynamax can cause you to, like AI, when it's doing it auto battling, it'll usually end up being on the wrong round. Usually like it's overheat rather than it's OKO. So if we look at her again, she's got even more defense increases, a tons of defensive increases. 24 rounds, another round, 10 more rounds, 9, 10 more, 2 more. They just continue to stack. And she's not a slouch when it comes to damage. Like, she's doing 300, 400,000 damage on the attack as well. But that's the general concept of her ability. So we're going to go ahead and skip through this. Because we want to look... Oh, I actually did more damage. We want to actually look. You'll see she actually did 39 million damage. And took very little. But granted, this is world boss, so it's a lot easier to deal with than real people. Don't take my damage numbers as like the amazing thing that they seem to be. The biggest thing with her though is that she really does allow your team, especially if you build a team with more control or damage, teammates that are able to do multiple attacks every round, she's just going to keep stacking her abilities over and over and over, making her very tanky and hard to kill. So if you do get a Magearna, build her tanky and try to get her on a team that's going to have follow-up attacks. One of the dangers I've seen is her paired with Misty Psyduck. Honestly, if she was paired Misty Psyduck and a Mega Marshadow, I would probably be terrified, because Misty Psyduck expands its damage, like it increases the amount of damage it does over time, after every attack, I believe. I'll have to double check the actual build for Misty Psyduck. Hang on. Misty Psyduck is actually one of my next go-tos, but let me double check where she's at. So where was it? So it does have the ability to cause all of your allied Pokemon to carry out a normal attack. So consider you pair this with Mega Marshadow and with Magearna. So you're going to get, it's going to do its normal attack. Magearna is going to do its stun chance attack. Mega Marshadow is going to do its attack, which stacks its attack ability. And of course, it has its normal attack that reduces their HP recovery as well. But its group A attack does increase its own ability as well as make opponents irreplaceable. So that's also very useful as well. So finding a team that works with Magearna with a lot of follow-up or other encouraging abilities just makes her ever more tanky and hard to just deal with. Unlike Mega Diancie, which, as I mentioned, you can kind of control if you can hit her twice. But unfortunately, that does mean if you're hitting her twice, that you're not hitting some of the others that may need to be taken out first. So don't get me wrong, Mega Diancie is still a problem, but I do believe that Magearna, in a battle of defensive and tankiness and control, Magearna, I believe, takes the cake. With that, I do want to thank you for watching this video. I do also want to apologize yet again, as I did in my previous video, that I have not been able to make as many videos lately. But I do want to express that I am going to try as much as I can to keep putting out more videos and to answer questions for y'all, and just to keep things interesting as best as I can. I'm probably not the most exciting content creator, but I do like to help others create fun, interesting builds and to help answer as many questions as I can. So thank you once again for watching, and I will see you all next time.